What's going on, everybody? I know it's been a long time since I made a YouTube video, but I just got a new laptop, so I'm gonna start doing more of those. Also going to invest in a webcam because this is horrible quality. But no, first video back, and really what I want to talk about, I'm gonna take time. I'm gonna talk about Tucker Carlson because I know it's a little bit late, but he was on Glenn Greenwald's show a couple weeks ago and just once again proved he is economically illiterate, which is something I've been saying for years. Like, I know he's big in the conservative movement, and I know a lot of libertarians actually really like him because he is also he's very anti-war, which is good. I do support that about him, but then they like overlook how awful he is on economics. Like even when they criticize his economics, they do it very like, oh, I get what he's saying. It's like, no, what he's saying is completely idiotic. And basically Tucker Carlson is just anti-immigration Bernie Sanders. That's his whole thing. So I have a couple clips I want to show. One's from Glenn Greenwald's show, and another one's from Jimmy Dore's show. But yeah, let me just share screen right now, and we're gonna get started on this, and I'm gonna just kind of debunk what he's saying.
Rising tide lifts all boats, and everybody watches Raytheon and Boeing and BlackRock and Amazon get richer and richer and richer. But it also kind of transformed economic policy. He frequently kind of denounced the classic sort of Reaganomics, this idea that, oh, we should all cheer for the richest people in our society to get richer because a rising tide lifts all boats. And everybody watches Raytheon and Boeing and BlackRock and Amazon get richer and richer and richer, and their boats aren't rising. And it really led a lot of people who have been capitalists their whole lives to at least start questioning not capitalism as a theory, but capitalism, how it manifests in American society. What is your view about sort of where the populist right is, the Trump movement is, when it comes to these core questions of economic theory and economic populism?
I think a lot of people have awakened to the now demonstrable fact that libertarian economics was a scam perpetrated by the beneficiaries of the economic system that they were defending. So they create.
First of all, where have we had a libertarian economic system in the last, I don't know, 100 years? Like, where's the, like, what? Come on, Tucker. Like, I don't see how anybody can look out at our economic system right now and say, oh, this is what libertarian economics looks like.
This whole intellectual framework to justify the private equity culture that's hollowed out the country. That's my personal view, and I've seen it up close my whole life, so I think it's a fair assessment. I think
it's not. Like, first of all, like the libertarian economists who came up with the theory talked about it. First of all, it's like, I don't think Mises or Hayek or Rothbard were actually talking to any presidents giving them economic advice. But let's just use a libertarian economist, not from the Austrian school, but from the Chicago school, a more mainstream one who actually was known to did advise presidents. Like, let's take Milton Friedman, for example. They didn't listen to him about anything on any subject. They told him, oh, we need to. Milton Friedman, who didn't want to end the Fed, but he said we need to rein in inflation. We can't have a constant inflation year over year that's designed by the Federal Reserve. He said that's bad. They didn't listen to him there. Like, they never listened to him. But no, it's Milton Friedman and all these other libertarian thinkers' fault for what we're in right now, who advised them, not the people who didn't take their advice. But sure, Tucker.
I think a smarter way to assess an economic system is by its results.
I agree. Capitalism
to the economic system.
I agree. We should judge economic systems by the results, and capitalism's has lifted more people out of poverty than any other system. Like, because of capitalism, we've made it where for all of human history, like, the natural state of human beings was severe poverty and backbreaking work and starvation. But because of capitalism, less than 10% of the world live in extreme poverty. So I agree, Tucker. We should judge economic systems based by the results, and none of them even come match the results that capitalism brings. All right, let's
The
keep
United
going.
States, you could call it market capitalism. You could call it, I mean, you could call it a whole host of different things. But I don't think any of that's useful. Those are boring conversations. I think you need to ask, does this economic system produce a lot of dollar stores? And if it does, it's not a system that you want because it.
Why? He's going to explain, but just that concept, like what's wrong with dollar stores? It doesn't. I don't. He's going to explain, but I don't understand. Even his explanation isn't very good.
It degrades people and it makes their lives worse and it increases exponentially the amount of ugliness in your society. And anything that increases ugliness is evil.
Okay, it it degrades people by giving you cheaper goods for a lower price, and it's bad because it's ugly. Like, I'm sorry, some people rely on the dollar store to get cheap goods, to get goods that they need, food for their kids, diapers, stuff that's cheaper there. They rely on the dollar store, but because it's ugly, it's bad. That's such an elitist thing to say from Tucker Carlson. There's nothing. It's He rails against the elite so much, like but that's the most elitist thing I've ever heard anybody say. It's like, because something's ugly, it's bad. Not don't look at all the good it does for people, how they can maybe money goes further there, that's cheaper goods and cheaper food so they can take care of their family. No, it's ugly. So this millionaire Tucker Carlson doesn't like it because it's ugly.
And it's just kind of, let's just start there. So if it's such a good system, why do we have all these dollar stores?
Because people need goods. Like, I don't know, Tucker. Like, who cares? It's just it's there because there's a demand for it, and that's what capitalism is. If there wasn't a demand for dollar stores, they wouldn't be here. And again, I don't think we live in a perfect capitalistic system. Like, there's a lot of shenanigans go on that interfere in the market, but the essence of capitalism is, if there's a demand for it, it's there. And as far as stores go, that is the truth. Like, as far as basically retail stores, they're fairly capitalistic at this point. So, oh, Tucker.
Dollar store is the clear. I mean, it's not the only ugly thing being created in the United States, but it's one of the most common, and it's certainly the most obvious. So if you have a dollar store, you're degraded. And any town that has a dollar store does not get better; it gets worse. And the people who live there lead lives that are worse.
Yes, getting cheaper goods makes your life saving money makes your life worse. I don't Okay, Tucker.
So, and the counter argument, to the extent there is one, oh, they buy cheaper stuff. Great, but they become more unhappy.
How? Like, I mean, you just saying they're more unhappy because the building's ugly doesn't make it true. Like, you're just making assertions that you can't back up right now.
And the dollar store itself is a sort of symbol. What's a physical thing? It's a real thing. It's not just a metaphor, but it's also a metaphor for your total lack of control over where you live and over the imposition of aggressively in your face ugly structures that send one message to you, which is you mean nothing. You are a consumer, not a human being or a citizen. And so again, I don't know what.
Who cares? That's all right. Yeah, everybody takes that's just life. The idea that everybody has to look out for you, be it like, no, like, that's what capitalism is. Like, I offer you something you want, you give me money. I don't have to look past you. We both benefit from each other. We don't have to even like each other for capitalism to work. So, like, I'm gonna play another clip from when he was on the Jimmy Dore show about a month ago too, where he says, where he also goes against, says stuff that I feel a need to correct. So we're gonna pop over here and
mostly financial.
listen
And
to him talk.
I've lived here for 54 years, and I have never one time on television or any public forum with a big audience heard a real debate about taxes. So we tax people twice as much.
I mean, I don't know what you're watching, but I know a lot of people who like their whole thing is talking about taxes. So, and mostly it's those libertarian economists that you just so much hated before, but like they definitely do talk about taxes. So, I don't know.
For working as we do for investing. But why do we do that? I mean,
Nope, let's go
does that
back a little
mean that
bit.
investing is twice as virtuous
What he
as
said,
working?
because he made a good point that he made a good point right there.
So does that mean so we tax people twice as much for working as we do for investing? But why do we do that? I mean, right? So does that mean that investing is twice as virtuous as working?
No, it does not mean that. And just for the record, I want to emphasize, I don't think taxes should exist. Like, don't think taxes should exist at all. Like, I hate both capital gains and income tax. But the reason I'm going to explain the reason why capital gains tax is lower than like your basic income tax. And the reason that is because without investing, there's no new jobs to be, there's no jobs being created. So there's nobody working. Like if there's no one investing, there's no jobs. That's the reason why. And again, I don't think either one of these taxes should exist. That's not like, but that's the theory behind that's there's actually truth to it. Like if it's more expensive to invest to make like the money I make, it's more expensive for me to invest. I'm not going to invest. I'm just going to save, and then the economy ceases to grow. That's the reason why. Again, don't think capital gains or income tax should exist at all, but that is the reason.
Do we seek to discourage work? I mean, we seek to discourage smoking. That's why we tax cigarettes so heavily.
I mean, that's a solid point.
At twice the rate of investing. So we're saying investors are twice as good people. They're making twice as important a moral choice as someone who just goes to work every day. Like that's insane. Why don't we have parity in tax rates? And by the way, maybe there's some like crazy complex economic reason that we don't.
Again, it's not that complex. I just explained it. But no, like we should income tax needs to be drastically lower. Yes, but I feel like Tucker's argument, like if his argument is we need to lower the income tax to the same as the capital gains tax, I 100% would agree with him. But I feel like his solution would be, hey, let's raise capital gains tax up to match income tax. Like I'm all for parity, that's fine, but as long as it's bringing all taxes down and not raising capital gains tax up, because people need to keep their own money. Like government doesn't have the fucking right to take your money. Like it's your money. You invest your money, you make money, that's your money, not the government's. You go to work, they pay you, the government doesn't have any right to either one of those monies. But that's I
don't know. I'm very open-minded. Maybe if we did that, America would collapse. Why don't you explain it to me? Why don't you explain that to me? Why people are getting taxed at half the rate for investing that I'm paying for working? And no one can. And by the way, well,
I can. I literally just did. So, and I'm a fucking dumb person. So it's not that hard to get. But yeah, that's basically it. He's kind of done. He just goes on from there. But yeah, Tucker Carlson's dumb with economics. But what's new, right? We all should have known that. So yeah, that's that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, blah blah blah. You know the drill. And I'm hoping to start making more videos again. So I'll hopefully be back again like next week or something. So see ya. See you next time. Peace.